Okay, so okay, great. There's no evidence on this specific bill. And the question lies at where do we go from here, right? Because I'm still at the point, because we have to talk about the hospital makeup and how it's run, right? A hospital is run in the way that the administration, higher ups, they make the decisions. They give you the X amount of dollars you can spend on your unit, on your hospital, and then you have to separate that out. And you have to decide, I want this many nurses, I want this many doctors, I want this new equipment, whatever. I want to build a new unit, whatever, right? But if a business, which hospitals are businesses, and if we are going to have a real conversation, we have to come to the realization that businesses have a fiduciary responsibility to make money. That is the goal of every business. And nurses are the largest portion of the workforce when it comes to healthcare. Healthcare is 18% of our GDP. Why in the world should I believe that a business would willingly and without any incentive give us more money for nurses? I just don't see that being a real answer. There is no way, unless you tell me you know of a hospital that is non-profit, or you know of a hospital that just does not care about the financial end goal of the year, how much profit they make at the end of the year, then maybe we can have that conversation. But until then, no, unless you give them a real incentive, why would they give us more nurses? Why would they pay for more nurses? Like, that's the question, right?
If you can prove that the outcomes are better, if you can prove that patient satisfaction will improve, if you can give them evidence that the bottom line will improve because lengths of stay will be shorter, any number of things, then that's true.
You think so?
The ANA supports federal legislation around nurse staffing.
Oh, okay.
So that is our solution.
That's legit. So if this bill was to be federally placed, you guys would be okay? Or are you saying it would have to be a different bill? It would have to be something else. Not this bill.
No, the ANA has sponsored legislation. There have been rallies. I believe you went to Washington when there were rallies around nurse staffing.
That are acuity-based and nurse-driven. Okay. That is the importance there.
So let's talk about the taxpayer. Because that's going to, this is not free. Hiring nurses isn't a free thing. Nurses are expensive. Like I said, it's the vast majority of the jobs in healthcare. What is you guys on the website? It says where did I have it? It was supposed to be over $1 billion over the first year, and then it can be up to $900 million every single year after that. And that's a scary number to think of. That's a big number to think of. But when I did further research, and yes, we have to go back to California because there's no other state, there's nowhere else we get to compare what mandated ratios mean, even though it's not the exact same thing. This is the research that came out after. They say, and this is according to the Henry Kaiser Family Foundation and the American Hospital Association, which, by the way, is not for the bill. They're against the bill, but this is the information they have gotten from California. Healthcare costs have not ballooned because of the California Safe Patient Limits laws. As predicted by industry, healthcare costs remain lower in California than in Massachusetts. Number one. Number two, Californians paid $179 less per year than the national average for healthcare premiums. Number three, Californians also paid $524 less per year than their Massachusetts counterparts for healthcare premiums. Net hospital income rose dramatically after California's law was implemented from $12.5 billion in 1994 to 2003 to more than $41.1 billion in 2004 to 2013, and that's after the bill was in place. So, you said earlier, if there was evidence that showed that if you put mandated ratios in, that the hospitals themselves would then hire more nurses. It's not a thing. Because this is evidence, and this is according to the American Hospital Association, which is against this, because I know, just like many big multi-billion-dollar corporations, they are all about the short-term gain. They want to make as quick money as possible, and if that means hiring less nurses, that means hiring less nurses. Knowing all of that, why is it that you guys think, according to California, the profits went up and the cost went down? Why are you guys against it? Thank you guys so much for watching. I really do appreciate this. If you guys were informed or educated in any way, shape, or form by these stories, please hit that like button. If you liked my presentation of the news, I really suggest you subscribe and hit the notification bell so you know every time Q the Nurse drops some hot, fresh press news. Thank you. Catch you next week. Deuces.